Today on Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, we're giving you the review for Henry Halfhead. And we're going to check in on how Pokemon Let's Go is like in the year 2025. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects for September 20th. No, September 19th, 2025. Roll the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, the weekly show where we tell you about the fun games, movies, TV shows, all the cool stuff that you should be doing in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. My name is Samson, aka Samson XP on the interwebs, and joined to me today is the ever neon fluorescent Jordan, aka Sir Dr. JM. Hello, Jordan.
Hello. I will take both of those titles. Ever neon, ever fluorescent.
Yeah, well, for audio listeners, if you come over to YouTube, where you should be watching this show, Jordan's got a windbreaker on. Is it windy in your basement, in your studio?
I just needed a look today, so I threw it on.
Fair
and now
enough.
I'm playing with my light, so it's going to be even more neon fluorescent.
It's a party. It's pretty much Friday by the time folks are listening to this, so turn up the light. Yeah, I'm wearing a, I don't know if you can read this, but it says Lake Show.
Okay.
This was a free t-shirt you get at the Lakers game that I was at earlier this year. And the back is an ad for some lawyer.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not going to show
Wonderful.
it. Yeah, he's like a big sponsor and giving out shirts. It was weird. We're not here to talk about lawyers. We're here to talk about mainly two things. Henry Halfhead is a game that released a couple days ago, and I got to play it. Shout out to the folks at Popagenda for providing the code. We are very grateful that you chose us to review Henry Halfhead. I played it, so I'll be giving the review. Jordan, you can ask questions along the way, I guess. But before we dive into it, I have a question.
No questions, sorry. Question and answer period is over. I'll be leaving now.
Oh, darn. Okay. Well,
all right, go ahead.
That's the podcast.
Okay, I'm back. I'm ready.
So, a little behind the scenes of the podcast, but we almost didn't record tonight because the Jonas Brothers are in town in Vancouver. This would be the night before if you're listening to this live on Fridays. And then I really wanted to go, but the tickets never dropped low enough in price. And tickets weren't expensive for a concert nowadays, like $130, $150, which is pretty reasonable for an arena kind of concert. But I really want to go because I want to see what the guest could be. By the time we listen to this, we'll know who the guest was. But Jordan, who do you think the Jonas Brothers will bring out as a guest tonight?
Ooh, what a fantastic question, because of course I'm up here in Edmonton, and we don't get guests when people tour to Edmonton.
you barely get the tour.
Well, now here, like I will say, I will tout the fact that Edmonton has a very nice, expensive arena compared to Calgary, which is the oldest arena in the NHL, which is why most concerts no longer go to Calgary, but they do go to Edmonton. So I will always brag about that fact, even though I am, of course, a Calgarian, but I live in Edmonton. So anyways, we don't get the guests. So who would guest in Vancouver? I'm going to say it's friend of the show, Steve Aoki.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can we call him a friend of the show?
Traveler. I guess so. I met him once and we exchanged words. I will say that. Steve Aoki would be crazy.
And not quite the same vibe as the Jonas Brothers, but hey, maybe. It could happen.
The zanier, the
it's
better,
like,
right?
There's more of a chance that Steve Aoki guests than Taylor Swift.
Yeah. That's true. I don't think she's going to guest in most places. Dude, man, my life changed when she showed up at that 1975 concert. That was that's some deep lore. I don't.
I was going to say I didn't know that, but
oh man, this is how I realized that I was a bigger Swiftie than I thought, because I was chatting with my coworkers about this. But anyways, my guess for the Jonas Brothers. I mean, Taylor Swift is not out of the question, right? There's some history.
Yeah, I mean, I
brothers
think she
and her.
sort of dated Joe for a while, but I think it was kind of one of those.
Yeah, like 10
I
years
think it was
ago.
like sort of. It comes across now as a very corporate, more of a marketing play than anything. Kind of similar to someone that my heart of hearts, I want to guess would be a guest, but I know would never happen, is Miley Cyrus, right? Because of course Miley, one of those
that'd be
kind
crazy.
of corporate relationships with baby Jonas, Nick Jonas, right? Back in the day. So
Yes. Yep. Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna go that lore accurate. I was thinking like, who are the Vancouver
but yes,
staples? Michael
that's a good
Bublé.
question. Does he live in Vancouver?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he lives in Burnaby.
Cool.
Yeah, born and raised. He's still here. Very cool guy. I think he frequents the movie theater that I frequent. Haven't run into him though.
Ask.
Who else? Oh, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay.
Was a poll. She has a new album coming out. She's also a local. Lights, also a local. Yeah. So it could be any of those people. If I had to pick one, safe bet, Michael Bublé. Fun bet is BB No Money.
Okay, I could see that for sure. Interesting.
But we'll know who it is by the time this episode goes live, if there even is one. I was hoping tickets go down to like $50, but they were in town filming Camp Rock 3 earlier this week. So the hype around the town is a little higher. So the tickets didn't drop as much as I thought they would, which is fine. I got to save money because I'm going somewhere crazy next week. We'll talk about it later. I mean,
I think you've already said it before, but
we'll remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I already said it. Anyways, we're not here to talk about the Jonas Brothers. We're here to talk about another brother named Henry. Henry Halfhead is a game developer. Oh, I should have had this ready. Henry Halfhead is a game that came out on September 16th, so about 2 days ago. It is published by Popagenda, and it is developed by, we are very professional on this show. I will definitely find the developers. Lulu Entertainment.
Of course.
As indie developer, more or less. And in this game, you play as, can you guess it, Jordan?
I'm going to guess the brother of Henry.
No, you play as Henry.
I should have known.
But he is half ahead. And it's hard to go too deep into this game without spoiling most of it, because it is a short game. The whole game is about 2 hours long. I think I did beat it in just about around that time as well. So, and in this game, you play as like half ahead, just nose up, called Henry. And you can possess things. So you can possess boxes, you can possess like apples, chairs, tables, and you just kind of slide around the world and possess things and solve puzzles and do activities. And that's pretty much the whole game. It's very simple mechanically, but most of the game's charm comes from like discovering things and figuring out what you can do. In this game, you play as Henry, and like I said, I don't want to spoil too much of the game, but you do just
can you
like it's a story. It's a story.
Can you
so you kind of play
walk me through maybe like sort of one of the intro parts, or like maybe it's even the tutorial where they're teaching you how to play? What exactly do you do?
Sure. Before I do that though, can I give it a score?
You may.
If you are thinking of picking up Henry Halfhead, and it is based off my score, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 heads?
7.5 heads out of 10. There you go. I think the game is pretty good. It's polished. It's cute. It's charming. I definitely want to go back to it and finish it because it was also so short as well. And it was engaging throughout all the way out. But I feel like it's one of those games where you see where the direction's going and you hope that it kind of leaned into certain things a little more to get its message across. So beginning of the game, you, like I said, you kind of go through this life of Henry. So we're starting from the beginning, and you are a baby.
Oh, okay.
And you try to shake your baby head out of the crib and try to just navigate your world, and that's how it teaches you how to move, jump, and all that. it also teaches you how to possess things. And by possess, I mean it's very much like a Mario Odyssey. You Cappy jumping onto something and you become that thing. It's very much like that. You take some of the object's characteristics, like if you possess a pair of scissors, now you can cut things.
Okay.
If you possess a like a book, you can open it, and the narrator, there's a narrator in this game, will start reading what's in the book. It's very interactive. But if I had to describe it, speaking of books, I would say it's like a very it's like you're playing a children's storybook. The story of the game, it's not for children, but it does dive into some themes that would resonate more with adults. I think the overall theme of this, if you want to avoid spoilers for Henry Halfhead, skip to like a minute from now. I would say the story of this is a story about growing old.
Oh, okay.
And finding the joy in life. That being said, I wish there were some parts in the story that leaned into that theme more. I thought that it touched on that theme pretty well, like serviceable. But I kind of wished, like, oh man, I don't know. Like the whole game, I was hoping something extremely tragic happens, which is kind of ironic for like a half-head game, or a game where you play as a half-head, game that you play as half of a head. But I was like waiting for like some kind of big conflict, but the conflict kind of came from almost like within, and you kind of you just kind of assume it happened. Other than that, then the whole game, it's also kind of trippy because it takes place in like this white void, and little dioramas like of different stages in your life just appear, and you like you slide your half head to it and possess things, and then solve all the puzzles. There's one early in the game, like I said, where you go to school and you have to do homework. So now you're in this classroom, and then you like actually do math kind of and hand it into the teacher, and that's the level. The one thing that I thought was that kind of made it hard was like, you are the only thing with two eyes in this world. Like the narrator narrates, but there isn't anybody else in the world. Like you are the only character. So a lot is left up to your imagination, which is kind of cool as well. Like it's like a storybook, right? You fill in the blanks along the way. But in this game, I guess it kind of worked out that it was so short. But there was a certain point where I kind of figured out the theme of the story, and I was just kind of not necessarily playing in the world, but I was just kind of getting the objectives done to trigger the next story scenario. Speaking of playing in the world, there was lots of like interactivity. It's like it's kind of like Zelda or something, where if you do one thing, the next thing happens, and if you mush these two things together, something else will happen. So it's got a lot of that. It's very playgroundy, sandboxing.
Yeah. Did you ever play Untitled Goose Game?
I did. Not completely, but yes. I would say this game is very similar to that.
I was going to say it reminds me of Untitled Goose Game, partially in its style, that sort of I don't know, cartoony real life look kind of thing, kind of a simplistic realistic style. But I was hoping, and you know, it sounds like from what you've described, this is true. I was hoping it had that kind of level of interactivity, where in Untitled Goose Game, you know, you can do a lot of random things as the goose. You know, maybe you in an early level, you're at a garden and there's a lake nearby with a picnic basket and a picnic blanket, and you can steal a bunch of items and bring them over to the picnic basket. And I believe you get an achievement for that, or something happens in the game. There's missions in the game. You complete one of them from doing that. But you wouldn't know it's there unless you are sort of exploring and trying to interact with the world. Is it kind of that vibe kind of thing?
A little bit. You remember Thank Goodness You're Here, where you just kind of explore this world until you hit the right triggers, and then you unlock the next
a little
level.
More like that.
I would say, and yeah, like Goose Game is kind of that as well. I would say this is a a couple steps
Oh,
down
okay.
from that. You get your scenario, your
Mhm.
level, and it's very clear that like
This
you
is
have to
your
hit the
mission. Yeah.
objectives, and the objectives aren't too complicated.
Right.
Like one was like light your birthday cake because it's your birthday. And so you can figure
Mhm.
it out, right? Oh, there's the cake. I got to
Cake,
put a
candle,
candle on it. I got to
fire.
find the
Yeah.
find the match. But in between that, you can like go to the sink and turn the
Okay.
sink on and become a spoon and start
Ooh,
hitting the pots and
neat.
pans. So there's lots of like little toy things you can do in
Mhm.
between the objective, and you do unlock stuff. Like one of the reoccurring things is you can get new hats for
Oh.
Henry, and at one point I found the dunce cap, and I'm like, I don't know if that's that's PC anymore. So the levels are a lot smaller
Okay.
like that. It's almost like yeah, it's like a small interactive
Did
garden
it
that you play in.
did it feel, and this is building off of the sort of like you described it as a diorama style. Watching the trailer, it looks like they're almost these kind of little vignettes of Henry's life. Did it feel like in having that sort of, I don't want to say empty because I don't know that it is empty, but that sort of blank canvas background style, did it feel almost maybe a little unfinished or incomplete? Like if they had built that out
Ooh, good
more,
question.
would it have felt like a more complete package to you, do you think?
I don't think
Okay.
so. I think I liked genuinely. I think I liked the emptiness or the art style they were going for, art direction they were going for, because that paired with the narrator. The narrator was also narrating a lot of like the things that were kind of supposed to be happening around you, like the parent, like I think I won early in the game. It was like Henry's parents set up the birthday cake for them, but you never see Henry's parents. So I don't know if that's like a budget thing or like a artistic choice, but I thought that worked really well in the story because it was consistent all the way through. And in a way, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it made the game more interactive because now it's like, oh, now I have to set up the candle and all that. There was a point where I was like, what's this possession mechanic trying to say? Like when I become the chair in real life, when
Are
I
people
move the
sitting
chair, is
on
it
me?
saying like am I the chair? Like when I move the chair, am I the vacuum cleaner when I clean the vacuum? I kind of liked it. It wasn't too distracting because it also made the objectives pretty clear. Like the world is very blank, and then the next door pops up, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to that door that just popped up in this void. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Have you ever watched the anime Clannad?
No, I have not. Nothing comes to mind when I hear it.
It's quite old. It's based off of a visual novel. It's like one of the only animes I ever watched, and I watched this like as a teenager. But basically, in that anime, like, and it's so weird because I haven't thought about this until I played this game. But in that anime, like it's very much a high school, and a high school boy meets high school girl. They kind of fall in love. They try to have a family, and then like the most tragic thing happens. Like I don't want to spoil it, but also this thing is like 20 years old, so I don't know if I should just something very tragic happens.
The Google suggestions when you Google it. The first one is, what is Clannad even about? The next one, is Clannad ending happy or sad? Is Clannad one of the saddest animes? So that says a little bit to me about it.
Yeah. We can talk about it on a different spoiler cast one day. But basically, I would say the theme of that anime is very similar to the theme of this game. It's about, spoilers for the theme of Henry Halfhead. You have been warned. It's about finding joy in your mundane life. And I thought I really resonated with that because I'm like, yeah, we should, like, our jobs can be boring, but it's about looking for the small things that bring you joy or finding new things that bring you joy. It's one of the themes of Clannad. So I was surprised that this was the point of Henry Halfhead. I thought it was just going to be puzzles and you placed this goofy guy that's Halfhead. So I really like that. I thought, yeah, the theme came through really well. I wish it leaned a little bit more into the conflict of Henry's life, but in the end, like, I was like, yeah, I agree. I agree with this half
Okay,
ahead.
okay. Then you chopped your head in half just to be like Henry.
When I saw this game, I thought it was going to be like about disability.
Oh, interesting.
Or like physical disabilities
A
and
little
like
more
navigating
literal.
that yeah, maybe, yeah, kind of. There's another game that came out recently, or I'm not sure if it's out, but To a T came out, and that's about like a kid that is constantly stuck in a T pose.
Oh, yes.
And it's about it's navigating life and like, oh, it can't fit through doors. I have to fit through doors a different way. I have to accommodate. So that was kind of a analogy of like navigating life with a disability or a different ability. And so I thought this Henry Halfhead was going to be about that, but I didn't know it was going to be a commentary on your life, which is actually kind of what Grow Up Level Up is about.
That's right.
Growing up.
And
growing
it's funny
old.
that you bring up To a T, because I wrote down a couple of games that this was reminding me of as you talked about it. And I wrote down Katamari, and I almost mentioned that. But To a T is actually from the creator of the Katamari series. Yes.
Oh,
Takahashi.
Is that game out?
It was released on May 28th for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. Publisher Annapurna.
How did I miss that? Okay, yeah. How did I?
You might have to revisit this, and we'll have a couple back-to-back. I don't know what to call them. Differently abled episodes.
Yeah, diverse. Yeah, that diverse abilities episode. But yeah, maybe I'll look into that. But yeah, Henry Halfhead. If you're looking for 7.5 out of 10, genuinely enjoyed it. If you're looking for a short game that's easy to play, it's a cool story. Definitely check it out. So thank you to Popagenda and Cody for sending that over. That's really awesome. Thanks, Cody. I feel like one last thought.
Absolutely.
About Henry Halfhead. I feel like this would be a good game for like parents and kids. It's easy enough and goofy enough. The challenge is there, especially for like a young kid who maybe has to think about if A plus B equals C. It might be a cool little adventure, and it's super short, and it's presented like a storybook. I really think, a young kid would enjoy this game. And it's like, a narrator reading a storybook. So that'd be cool. I wonder what they would do for Henry Halfhead 2.
I was going to say, I was going to make a joke earlier when you talked about the ending and say something like, do they set it up for a sequel where you're Henry Quarterhead or something like that? But I didn't think that joke was too funny, so I didn't say it.
Full head. Fair enough. So Henry Halfhead, made by Lulu Entertainment, based in Zurich, Switzerland. Co-publisher Popagenda, released September 16th, and it's available on Steam, Epic, PS5, and Switch. So thanks again, Popagenda. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was like a nice, fun time. Finished it this morning over my cup of coffee. And I was like, now I have to go into this day thinking about the purpose of my entire life. It was very nice. Jordan, speaking of the purpose of your entire life, you have recently gone on a journey as a 10-year-old picking their first Pokemon.
I have.
What do you think about Pokemon Let's Go? Or I guess, first of all, why did you start playing this game, and which version?
Yes, absolutely. So the why, of course, is a 7-year-old girl that lives in my house, and I sometimes feed and take to school and help raise and everything like that. Of course, I'm talking about my daughter, who not long ago very organically decided to be into Pokemon. Of course, she's grown up as my child and has always been around Pokemon. We have Pokemon toys and stuffies and things like that. She's had a Fennekin stuffy since she was, 3 that she picked out. Something like that. And many others, of course, that, are from my childhood or my wife's childhood, that kind of thing. And she was always around it, but never super interested in it. Even, I played Pokemon Go and stuff like that. And she likes throwing the balls and, tapping the claim reward button because it goes pew and you get stuff and things like that. But she was never too interested. And then earlier in the summer, I think one of her cousins had mentioned that he had watched a lot of the anime, and then she said, I want to watch the anime. And I think I've talked about this on the show before. I started on Horizons because it's a little bit newer. She was a few episodes into that. And then she said, I want to watch the episodes with Ash. So we started from the beginning. We're now in the Johto Champions season, which I believe is technically season 4, of course, in the Johto region. And it hasn't stopped. We must be, I don't know how many episodes that'd be, 200 in or something like that. So anyways, that got me thinking, where do we start with the games? A question that, of course, I asked you on a previous episode. And you had said, I think the best place to start for someone like that would probably be the Let's Go games. So we went to our local library and we reserved a copy of Let's Go Pikachu. A day later, when I told her that, I was berated because I should have reserved Let's Go Eevee. And I thought, silly me, I thought she would like Pikachu because, of course, she's been watching the show. But no, she wanted Eevee. Anyways, doesn't matter. Bad Father of the Year award goes to me. So it became available. Of course, you got to, there's a wait list and everything. So we finally picked it up. And now I've been playing through that with her. And we're not super far in. Of course, she doesn't get a ton of playtime a day and everything between school and, also, you got to limit video games and such like that. And until you're an adult and you can make your own choices, and then you can play them all you want. So we're a little ways in now. I do think that it's a good balance in terms of the game, it's a good balance of the catching mechanic that is very Pokemon Go-esque, the sort of throwing the Pokeball, rather than having to do the battles with every single Pokemon you come across in the wild. Now, the flip side of that is I was getting a little worried that she wouldn't enjoy the battles because you do them so infrequently. Fast forward a little ways, we beat Brock, we beat Misty, and of course I come to learn that you go through these sort of gauntlet sections of the game where, when you're making your way through, for example, Mount Moon, it's basically just a cave with Pokemon spawning and you're just catching. And of course, the built-in mechanic there is you gain XP simply from catching. So you catch a lot of those, but then you get out of there and then you go through maybe a sort of almost a maze-like area of hedges. And it's, rather than being lined with these wild Pokemon, it's lined with trainers or random people that want to battle you. So it does a good job of sort of balancing that, hey, this is an open area. We want you to just catch Pokemon. You're going to see some different types you haven't seen before. Again, in Mount Moon, you start seeing rock types for the first time. You start seeing Zubats, of course, because it's a cave, and things like that. Then when you get out of there, you go through one of those sections where you got to fight a bunch of trainers. So it does this really good balance of encouraging you to catch, gain XP that way, and then come across fights where you are now fighting, and doing the actual, traditional turn-based fighting.
Yep.
I do think that it's a really good entry point. That's for sure. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't put out any more of these. And I do wonder if that's sales based or what it might be, especially with Pokemon Go being as big as it is now. I think Pokemon Go kind of, was huge upon release, and then it kind of waned, and then it kind of came back, and then it kind of waned, and then COVID happened and it kind of came back. And I feel like it's kind of in a, as someone who doesn't really play it that much, I think it's kind of in a good spot now. I think a lot of people do enjoy it and do play it pretty regularly. So I'm a little bit surprised they haven't put out another entry in it, because I would like to play maybe a slightly more modern version, where they kind of improve on some of the things that exist in the current ones. Overall, like for me personally, if I were playing it on my own, I think it would be a little too easy, because again, they run you through those gauntlets of, hey, you're just going to catch Pokemon in here. And it's like, if you are catching every Pokemon you come across, your party's going to be way over leveled for any fight you get to. By the time you reach Brock, who is the first gym leader, if you caught everything you came across, you'd probably be like level 20 and Brock's throwing level 8 Pokemon at you or something like that. Maybe level 10. I don't know. So there is probably an element of imbalance there for a gamer like you and I. But what I've found is for a gamer like my daughter, who I think got a little bored of catching every Pokemon she came across, she starts just running past them, right? Once she's got one Zubat, she's like, I don't need another Zubat. So she's just bobbing and weaving,
they appear
right?
I forgot they appear on the actual
They
map
just pop up kind of, out in the wild, and then you got to throw the Pokeball at them to catch them. So I do think that it's actually fairly balanced and set up for that kind of younger audience, I think. Now she's also, she's just started grade 2. So she can read, obviously not at an advanced level or anything like that. You only really start to learn to read beyond basic sentences in grade 1, right? So still pretty low level reading, but she does get tired of all the reading in the game, which is a thing in any Pokemon game, right?
Yeah. You know what the Pokemon Center lady is.
Exactly, right? And that's the thing is it's cool because it's a world she's familiar with. Outside of a Pokemon Center, she knows what it is. She goes inside and she goes, there's an Nurse-Joy, and she walks up and she just mashes A because she knows what's about to happen, right? It's also cool because the setting, of course, loosely follows the anime. So like at one point in, what town is Misty from? Viridian City? Cerulean City. At one point in Cerulean City, of course, there's a Squirtle that is being accosted by Officer Jenny. And she goes, Dad, it's the Squirtle Squad. And I'm like, well, it's not. But I laughed because, of course, that's what, you would assume having just watched the show and everything. So anyways, overall, it's a good experience to have with her. It's a good experience, I think, for her age. Like I say, a gamer of our accoutrements. No, that's not the right word. A gamer of our what am I looking for here? Experience of our experience.
Sure.
It certainly is a little easy, I'd say, a little undertuned for us, which I'm sure is exactly what people said when it came out. What, 9 years ago? Did it come out in 2016? Is that right? Or is that when Pokemon Go came out?
No. It was after. It was a little after the Switch first came out. I think it was 2018. But still, that is 7 years ago. I agree with everything you said. I think this is a great entry point for the kiddos. So I think your daughter's at the perfect age that they were aiming for. Anyways. I remember when I played through this, I was like, okay, it's serviceable. It's been a while since I did a Gen 1 game, but let's get to the real one, and that was Sword and Shield, which came out like a year or two after, which was fine. But I think one thing that this game has that even the newer ones don't is it just oozes style.
Okay.
It looks fantastic. Like the trainer animations, like when every time you enter a gym leader, you get like a short 5-second pose and whatever, but it shows so much about their personality. And I mean, I guess the modern games do that too, but it's not as sharp looking with the Scarlet and Violet and
interesting.
Sword and Shield. However, if reading is the thing, like you said, in the first couple games there isn't too much story, but in Scarlet and Violet, like there's like 3 separate storylines going on with tons of reading and character depth and all that. It's not gonna blow your socks off, right? But it's like it's like a good storybook. It's like a Henry Halfhead kind of. Actually, Henry Halfhead I think is still a bit better in terms of what they were going for. But like let's go. Just getting used to the mechanics of catching and battling and your first dip into the Pokemon world. It's pretty cool. Plus, your Pokemon follow you. That's always really
and
cool.
like the one thing that surprised me actually is she doesn't have like a lineup, and maybe it's because she hasn't caught like Pokemon that she really likes, but she catches all these Pokemon and then she just every now and then she'll be like, Dad, I want to change my party. And then she goes into it and she like rearranges them. Of course, Pikachu's always in there because, you know, it's Pikachu. And like, I guess she's maybe got like a couple that she keeps in the rotation, but she's constantly just like, I'm going to swap these guys out, bring these guys in. And for me, like in my mind, it's all about catching and strengthening the ones you want, right? You know, you build your team and those are your go-tos, right? So maybe she just hasn't got that far, hasn't caught enough Pokemon that she really identifies with or enjoys. But like she's got a Bulbasaur that's a mainstay, so, you know.
There you go. It's getting there. That was actually going to be one of my questions. Like, what's your team you're running with? But it still sounds like we're
still fleshing it out for sure.
Phase. Yeah. I don't know. I find with Pokemon, and this is how I always approached every Pokemon game, is like I'll catch what interests me, and if something cool happens, like say so and so clutches out a gym, or I find you in some interesting way. I think in my Scarlet and Violet run, I like jumped off a mountain and then landed on a Pokemon that I didn't even see because that game ran so bad it
hadn't rendered yet.
It genuinely awesome. It ended up being like some Terra type. I think it was like a Baxcalibur. Nice. So I was like, all right, cool. You didn't even spawn in, and I'll catch you now. So I let that happen. So maybe she'll get there. Bulbasaur.
Well, and now that I think about it, like for me, again, my only real experience. No, let me rephrase that. My only experience with the real or the traditional Pokemon games is literally Blue on the Game Boy. I have never touched any of the other ones. And, you know, I think I've talked about this before, but it stems back from one night as a young child at a sleepover. My friend let me play on his copy, his Game Boy. He fell asleep. I played till 6 a.m, heard my dad getting up for work the next day. And that's what told me I had to go to bed. But of course, one save file. So I couldn't save. And my go-to in that game was Nidoking, simply because of the fact that I caught a Nidoran and it was the first Pokemon I had that evolved. And then it evolved again into Nidoking. And because of that, Nidoking is always one of my go-to Gen 1 Pokemon. And that's really the only reason why. You know, there's no real pull to Nidoking. Otherwise, I'm not particularly fond of ground type or poison or anything like that. But it's purely that experience.
It's just the first guy.
So, you know, I'm sure we'll get there with some of these guys. But
now, we're going to go from Pokemon Let's Go to Pokemon Legends Z to A, Pokemon Za. Do you think you're going to grab that one next and play with your It is so
I was
different.
Going to say, I honestly don't. And a big part of that is because when they showed off the gameplay, I was disappointed it wasn't turn-based.
Okay.
You know, again, a large part of that is because I had been hoping for that specifically for, again, here comes the dad, the reading aspect. I'm trying to get her to read more and trying to encourage her to read. And for me, I didn't enjoy reading growing up, right? Of course, there were, you know, the big books that everyone got into as a child of our generation and stuff like that. But I really didn't like reading books, but I always played video games. And looking back, again, as a dad, I now recognize just how much reading is in a lot of games. So now I'm trying to, okay, you know what, maybe I get her into Zelda because there's, you know, most of the story in Zelda is reading, right? They don't actually speak. The dialogue boxes come up and everything like that. So anyways, I had been hoping for that traditional turn-based style of fighting because even if you're not into reading, you still learn the words fight, run, bag, and you start going through those menus and you do read those even if you don't want to realistically because you need to know what those attacks are, right? You need to know which of my attacks is going to increase defense, poison the target, put it to sleep versus do a physical attack or something like that, right? And already I'm
at least read the
exactly. And
yeah, this one does damage.
I'm seeing that in Let's Go Pikachu is, you know, there are times when she's going through a town, she doesn't want to talk to everybody because it's all reading. But I'm showing her that, hey, I just talked to that lady because we've already caught 30 Pokemon. She gives you another Bulbasaur. Hey, I just talked to that guy who's got a Charmander standing next to him. And he told us if we come back once we've caught 50, he's going to give us that Charmander. And now she's like, okay. And she's starting to put together that I need to talk to these people because they're going to reward me for it. Right. So anyways.
I don't know. Maybe Zao will have
I mean, I know it'll have
least.
that with, characters and cities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think that turn-based side of it also lets you play at your own pace a little more. Whereas the cooldown based is a little more reactive than I think she's used to when it comes to games. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so maybe some of the other 10 to 20 turn-based Pokemon games, I guess you'll have.
I'm like, it's not slim pickings out here, so I'm not too worried about it. But.
Exactly. No, that's awesome. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited that you guys are going through it. How far in?
We just beat Misty, so we're now on our way to.
Got a while to go.
We're on our way to the SSN. We got our ticket. We met the dude who turns himself into a Nidoran, which was freaky as hell.
Bill, yeah.
I'd never seen that. She's like, I was literally, I was doing dishes while she was playing, and she's like, Dad, who is this? And I come over and I'm like, Lane, that's like a Nidoran, but it's really big. And she's like, no, it's a person. And I'm like, is it like a mascot? Is he like wearing a Nidoran costume? And then she reads a couple of the dialogues, and it's like, oh, he transformed himself into a Nidoran. He teleported his consciousness into this Nidoran. And I was like, this is weird. And my wife literally laughed out loud sitting in the chair watching this happen, because neither of us had any idea that was going to happen. So anyways, he gave us our ticket, and we're making our way to the SSN now.
That's great. Yeah, make sure to check those trash cans.
Oh, okay. Good tip. Check the trash cans.
I'm excited to see you guys finish it. Because looking back, now all the nostalgia is rushing back. I'm like, there is so much game left for you, even just getting to the SSN. There's a lot. But I hope you enjoy your time there. There's one more game you've been playing. I heard something about Psycho and Beyond.
I wasn't sure where you were going to go with that, but
I just tried to segue. That's all.
There is that game. There's another game that I want to check in with you on.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's go with that.
But which one do you want to do first? I don't mind.
We got time for both.
Okay.
So,
I'll talk briefly on Psychonauts 2 first, then, since you brought it up.
Since I got the trailer ready here too.
So the interesting thing about this game, obviously, it came out a number of years ago. Previously an Xbox exclusive, I believe, one of the first Double Fine games that was exclusively on the Xbox after Microsoft purchased Double Fine, of course. Are you much of a Double Fine fan?
I tried to be, but I don't feel like many of the games resonate with me. But I am. I do like their art style, and like it's Tim Schafer, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like a fan of his work, but I don't know, the games, none of them ever really spoke to me. Like I love the art style. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting to me because I really thought you would vibe with these games. I would call myself I want to call myself a huge Double Fine fan. I feel like that implies that like I play every game they put out and stuff like that, and that's certainly not true. But every Double Fine game that I have played, I would say I love. I'm a big fan of Costume Quest, both 1 and 2, and the DLC Grubbins on Ice. So like I'm very familiar with that series. I also they put out a game called Stacking, which I believe was free on PlayStation Plus at one point back in the day, and that's why I played that one. They also put out a game called The Cave, which was like a sort of almost puzzle. I don't even know how to describe it, but don't worry about it. And I love that game as well. I tried Grim Fandango once, which of course is a classic Double Fine joint. I tried the remaster and I just couldn't get into it because I'm not big on the point and click style. But anyways, I think I love everything that Double Fine is about. They're kind of, in my mind, they're up there with like an Insomniac in terms of the experiences they create are so crafted and so realized. They really make worlds that come to life, kind of thing. They might not be the top of their class when it comes to gameplay, or something like that, combat even. But what they do, there's just such a clear vision and purpose behind it. So
Mhm.
Psychonauts 2 was I believe that one of the September free games on PlayStation Plus. And again, being a Double Fine fan, maybe I am a big Double Fine fan. It feels fraudulent to say, but maybe I am.
No, why not?
This was the first opportunity I'd had to play it. I never played the original Psychonauts. I think it came out on PS2. And so I jumped into this one because it was free, and I've really been enjoying my time. Like I say, it's got a very, to me, Insomniac feel, where it's more about the world. The combat is fine. It's kind of action adventure. You gain abilities, and you navigate this kind of world, kind of action adventure 3D platformer style. But I really like what they're setting up, and I knew this going into the game, but you see it very early on. It is largely a game about mental health and dealing with a lot of different, I don't even want to say trauma, although there is dealing with some trauma in it. But just dealing with a lot of internal struggles. Quite literally, the psycho part of Psychonauts is dealing with like psychic abilities, and you go into people's minds. You literally, there are parts where people get a little door put on their forehead, and you go inside of it, and you are in their mind, and you navigate sort of the internal struggles that they have in order to produce an outcome, kind of thing. And some of the stuff that it does with that is very, I mean, I would, sounds like a little bit, I would, align it with Henry Halfhead. If you're just a kid, or if you're, even a young adult, a teenager, whatever, playing this, it's just a fun action adventure kind of 3D platformer. But as an adult, I'm like, man, the stuff they're doing here, the stuff they're talking about, the stuff that they are bringing up, you can tell that these were, if in air quotes, real adults that made this game to connect with people, right? There are some things in it that, like, I don't even want to spoil, because they get pretty deep with it, and it stays light, but you know that it's there, and it's a really interesting balance that they kind of pull off, especially with this. You had the trailer playing a second ago. This goofy art style. It's very Tim Burton-esque with the character designs.
Yeah.
Weird shaped people and things with big eyes and big heads and disproportionate body limbs and stuff like that. But I really dig it. It's a weird one. I will definitely say it's not for everybody, but if everybody played it, I think everybody would connect with it in a different way because of the themes and topics that it kind of brings to the forefront. So, yeah.
How hard is the game? Is it like it's not? I don't think it's going to be Silksong hard,
no.
but if is it like can I casually play it, stop, and then come back?
I think you could. It does remind me in a lot of ways of like a Ratchet and Clank in terms of you're hopping and bopping.
Yeah.
You've got your double jump, your double jump, your glide, and then your sort of abilities that you use. Obviously, Ratchet and Clank is weapons, but I think it's easy enough. It does get into, hey, we're going to give you a bunch of different abilities, and you can kind of use which ones you want for combat and things like that. So I could see, like, if you took a break and then came back, you might have to take a minute to kind of readjust and remember what all those abilities do and stuff like that. But I think it's pretty pick up and play. You'd get back into the swing of things pretty quickly. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll grab it one day. Is it on Switch too?
I don't know.
It's on PC.
It came out a number of years ago, so I don't think. Well, I know Switch 2 wasn't out. I could see it being on Switch. It feels like it would actually be a decent game to play on the go kind of thing. But
it is on, according to Wikipedia, PlayStation. Sorry, I was away from Mike. PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Linux, and Mac.
Okay.
Okay. So
play it on your Mac.
PS5 proper.
Yeah, no, it's for.
Yeah, I guess I could play it on my Mac. Okay, I'll check this out. I didn't know that was because I never played the first one either.
And they've got a good little intro video that's like 5 minutes long, and it just kind of covers the story of the first game, and it's very apparent that's what it's doing when it plays. But it catches you up quick enough. So
Okay, I'll check it out. I didn't know that was what this game
Yeah.
was about. And yeah, platformers or 3D platformers especially. Um, yeah, I do enjoy those. Those are a nice, relaxing time.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It was a nice reprieve from the other game that I want to come back to, and that is, of course,
okay.
Silksong.
Oh yeah. What's your check-in? Because I was too busy playing Henry Halfhead.
Shoot, of course. I wanted to do a Silksong check-in with you because I wanted to know, if you've progressed much further and things like that. So, have you mostly been spending your time with Henry Halfhead then?
Well, ironically, Henry Halfhead's like a 2-hour game. I've just been very busy that I haven't had too much time to play. Since our last recording, I think I got to the Hunter's March.
We texted about that.
But I have not gotten much farther than that because I hit the gauntlet you're talking about, and I'm trying to figure out: do I want to explore a little more before trying again, or do I just want to brute force my way through? So that's
fair enough, and that makes sense. And I think a big reason why I want to talk about this game again is A, because it's kind of therapeutic to talk about it, but B, because I've consumed a number of different media sources on this game. And just different podcasts and things like that. I've listened to, Kind of Funny's coverage of it, Drop In, Drop Out, a little bit of that, a little bit of Remap Radio, and the various voices on those things. Plus, my Instagram algorithm has caught on, and I'm getting Silksong, Hollow Knight videos on my Instagram Explore and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm deep in it, but I haven't played too much. And I think a part of that is because the Hunter's March really did burn me out. Now, I have heard other people having similar feelings. I've also heard people suggesting things like, if you're getting to these areas and you're bashing your head in over them, you're spending hours upon hours upon hours trying to beat them, that's the game telling you to go do something else first. And in Silksong, the big thing is, my biggest frustration at this point, and something we talked about last week, was the fact that I did do other things. I even progressed in other things, and I was still struggling with the Hunter's March. And I had gotten to a point where I think the Hunter's March was basically the only thing I could do. Or it was like the intended thing that I was really at a point where I was supposed to be able to get through it. Now, I had talked about that gauntlet section where a helper is supposed to drop in, but of course, because I progressed other areas, that helper left and would not help me, which kind of made it a little bit harder on myself. But once you got to Hunter's March, of course, that motivated me. And I believe it was that same night that you got there that I did go in and finally clear that area. I was ecstatic that I did it. And I've since come across other arena style sections, and I've learned that the Hunter's March is purposely more difficult than those other ones. I was very nervous coming across one of the other ones because I had a large number of beads that I was specifically saving so I could buy a ton of maps that I was backlogged on. And it was like 3 waves, and the Hunter's March is at least 5, if not like maybe 6 or 7 waves.
Oh my gosh.
So I was very nervous going into that I wasn't going to live through that and I was going to lose all my beads. But I made it. And then I got to, of course, everyone's favorite map seller, Chakra. And I had 5 outstanding maps to purchase from her because I had been to that many different areas while I was stuck on the Hunter's March. So I purchased them all because I had enough beads, and I was so relieved. And I did some exploring, explored that area, and I was reminded again why I had gotten this far in this game. And it's because I really do love the exploration, the basic, I'll say, platforming, not the pogo stuff, because I hate the pogo stuff. That's a big part of Hunter's March that held me back. Although it did get an upgrade that helps with it a lot. And I was, again, it was refreshing because I was like, this is what I enjoy about this game. Then I came to another boss, and it's not that I'm stuck on the boss, because again, I come back to the fact that I actually don't find the bosses too difficult in the game. So far, I haven't struggled with any boss that much. Sure, they take more than one try. Sometimes they take a fair number of tries, maybe an hour or two of, fighting against it. But I find that as long as you're looking for those patterns and you're trying to get through it and recognize the tells that the bosses have, I find you can overcome them, right? It really just is a matter of, working through it and trying. Honestly, you really can't just button mash or dodge and hope for the best. You really have to start to look for the patterns, recognize what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it. It's like it's very much up in the cerebral as it is in your reflexes.
It is.
Yeah, working smarter, not always working.
Exactly. But regardless, I have gotten to another point where I'm at another boss. Currently, I have 2 different bosses in different areas that I could take on. I did wind up looking up a guide just to see what bosses are optional for progressing and things like that. And I found that one of them is actually optional, so I may not even do it. But the point is, I got to that boss, tried it a few times, took a break, came back another day, tried it a few more times, didn't beat it. And I kind of stepped back and was like, I don't feel like I have to do this. I felt like I had to beat the Hunter's March. I had a vendetta against that thing. I had to prove to myself that I could do that. And I did. And I just don't know if I have the desire now to spend many, many more hours working my way through that.
Oh, okay.
And at this point, like, I have, I think, almost 20 hours in the game. I have not finished Act 1, which, looking it up, like, people finish Act 1, I don't know, after like 10 to 15 on average, probably. So I'm definitely outside of that. And a big part of that is the Hunter's March. But I guess it's more just, I don't know if I'm motivated to keep going. Because again, at this point, I feel like I've beaten enough bosses. I know I can do them. I trust that, yeah, they take a little effort, but I can get through them. But I just don't know if that's what I want. If the game had, this seems like a silly thing to say, but if the game had less of those bosses, or maybe they just were a little bit easier, I think I'd be more willing, because I come back to, I love the platforming. I love the exploration. I love the moment to moment of this game. I love the combat. It's just, I don't know if I want to spend an hour to 2 hours, in some cases, if a boss is a little bit harder, maybe 5 hours. I just don't know if I want to spend that time bashing my head against that, even if I know I can do this, right? Because so far, I'm confident enough to say, I can do this. I can beat those bosses. But I just don't know if it's worth it. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's not like I've uninstalled it. And it may be a game that I just come back to, for a long period of time. When I look at Elden Ring, I never rushed through Elden Ring. When I look at Bloodborne, I never rushed through Bloodborne. I took my time with those games. I explored at my own pace. I was probably playing them for 2 to 3 months after the conversation had moved on, because I'm not in a rush. And I think I played about as much of this game as I could for that first week it was out, because I wanted to be able to talk about it. And I experienced the challenges that people experience in this game. But I just don't know if I like it that much to keep coming back to it. So that's where I'm at. I'm sure I'll dip back in here and there before we talk again. But ultimately, like I said, I think I'm at, last I checked, I'm just under 20 hours. I'm looking down at my notes here. That's why I keep tapping my phone if you're a video watcher here. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think you put into words how I felt, but I didn't know, like, what the fact that I do want to get through it slowly, no rush. I just don't like it enough that I have to get through it right now. But I like it. I just don't like it enough. And there's other things I want to play as well, like such as game for next week's review. Have to get around that. Of course, always want to play more Pokemon TCG. Right. That's on my phone, computer, and locals. So I want to do that. So yeah, it's just like not that much of a priority right now. And I know it'll always be there. It'll never go stale or bad like an apple or banana.
That's a good point.
we got bananas today. I had to eat it,
Nice.
or else I was going to go to bed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking in. Silksong Check-In. We'll see where we're at in like a month or two. See how far we got. Yeah, I love that. Well, that brings us to the end of today's Sunset Selects. Let us know in the comments how far you got in Silksong so far. Let us know if you are still playing Pokemon games, if you've ever played Pokemon Let's Go, and what you think. And of course, let me know if you are checking out Henry Halfhead. That game is very short. It is a nice story that you can play through and enjoy and have an existential crisis about your life.
Excellent.
After. Jordan, if people want to catch up with you, where can people
You can find me all over social media at Sir Dr. JM. That's Sir DRJM. And of course, add me on the PlayStation Network, if they even call it that anymore. They might just call it PlayStation Online. I don't know. But yeah, add me, Sir Dr. JM.
And you can follow me at SamsonXP on all the socials. On Instagram, if you use that, that's definitely where I'm most active, along with Blue Sky, and at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials as well. So you know when new episodes go live, you can interact with us. We are very friendly. We don't bite. So at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials as well. Next week, we got another review for you. I'm going to keep it a mystery, but it is, give you a hint, it is another indie game that I've been looking forward to for a long time. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and on all the socials to know when it goes live, which is usually Fridays. Jordan, what are your wise words to end off today's episode?
My wise words, inspired by my Windows 11 wallpaper right now. Once you pop, you just can't stop.